Welcome back to The Wheelman. Today we have a BMW in for a colour change. The wheels are currently diamond cut. They're not actually going to stay that way. You'll be able to see exactly what colour the wheels are going later on in the video. Let's start by having a look at the wheels. Today's car is a BMW 3 Series with the original wheels. Originally these wheels came with a diamond cut face. BMW enthusiasts will recognise these as the 442M style. It's quite a nice looking wheel. It could definitely do with some attention. The customers decided to go with a single colour, which you'll see later on in the video. You'll notice there's a lot of corrosion, quite a bit of curb damage. We'll sort all that later on in the video. First step, as always, is getting the wheels off the car. We just start by loosening all the bolts, raising the car into the air. We're going to put some loan wheels onto this car just so we can move it around the yard. In a minute we'll start to inspect the wheels, make sure there's no damage we're unaware of, and we'll start to get the tyres off. On closer inspection, this wheel isn't too bad. Fair bit of corrosion, quite a bit of curb damage. We'll be able to sort all of that in the prep process. We're looking forward to how these will come out towards the end. Next stage is removing the tyres. We just start by breaking the beads and then gently removing the tyres, making sure not to add any further damage to the wheels as we're doing so. These wheels are equipped with a TPMS sensor, that's a tyre pressure monitoring system. It just tells the car the exact tyre pressure of each of the wheels. We're just careful to remove those as we're going to need those at the end to reinstall. This is probably the worst wheel of the four wheels. As you can see, there's quite a bit of corrosion here, or beneath the paint. Quite a bit of curb damage, all this corrosion that's starting to come through the diamond cut as well. These wheels are diamond cut, so what that means is you've got a two-tone effect. So you've got the grey here down the spokes, and then you've got a polished bit on the actual face of the wheel. It looks good when it's brand new, but what always tends to happen is exactly what's happened here. So we call it white worm. It's basically corrosion. It's oxidisation of the metal underneath. If you get a stone chip, bits of curb damage, if the metal underneath is exposed, if there's no lacquer protecting this metal, what happens is it starts to oxidise and corrode, and then the lacquer that sits on top of the metal just starts to peel away. So then you get this horrible looking effect. So it's all happened here down in the middle, look. Looks terrible, that. But the annoying thing is, these are normally a really nice optional extra for a car. You can pay a lot of money for these brand new when you're buying your vehicle. But then given a few years, or if you don't look after them properly, if you take them to the car wash, they'll always end up looking just like this. So when we strip the wheel back to metal, most of this will go anyway because a lot of it's just paint flake. But when it's back to metal, we'll make sure we blast it. We'll get rid of all this curb damage. We'll sand it all away. And when we then hit it with the powder coat, we'll make sure we hit it with a really high build primer. That'll cover a lot of the imperfections before we then put the actual colour, which we'll reveal later in the video. So it'll be interesting to see what these look like later on. Next step is just getting the weights off these ones, getting them into the acid bath to strip all the old paint, all the old lacquer and primer, and then we'll get them into the prep station. So this wheel's just come out of the acid, and as you can see, you've got all the curb damage there, bits of corrosion down the spokes. We'll get rid of all this in the blaster. Just going to start sanding down all the curb damage, get rid of that so it's nice and smooth, and then it'll be ready for the oven, ready for the powder coat. Wheels are sanded using a range of different sandpaper. We just simply want to make sure we get the metal nice and smooth before we get it into the blaster. So this is what it looks like after we've sanded away all the curb damage. Next step, we'll be getting into the blaster. We'll blast the entire wheel inside and out. This is the blasting stage. We're just simply blasting the entire wheel inside and out, just making sure to get every single corner of the wheel This stage just gets rid of all the surface corrosion, any dirt on the surface of the wheel. The idea is to get it as textured as we possibly can, ready for the powder coat stage. So this wheel's just come out of the blaster and you can see the difference. It's a much more textured finish on this one. Nice and rough, it'll just mean the powder coat will stick to it a lot easier. Will give a much better finish. This one's just about to go into the blaster. You'll notice you can still see some of these areas like here. You might just be able to see bits of surface corrosion, whereas on this one here that's been blasted, you'll notice it's all gone. If you do look closely, you might still see some scarring in the metal. There's only so much we can do when it comes to getting rid of the corrosion. But we'll hit it with a really thick primer first before we hit it with the colour. And that way it's going to hopefully mask and hide some of this corrosion, if not all of it. So next thing, get this in the blaster, get the wheels hooked up, get them blown off and get them in the oven for outgassing. These have now been blasted. We've got a hanging hook on them as well. We just need to get them blown off and in the oven, ready for outgas. This next stage is one of the most crucial parts of the entire process. We're just simply putting the wheels into the oven for the outgas process. Outgassing simply means all the wheels are baked until all the impurities inside the wheel are baked away. With it being an alloy wheel, the wheels are porous, so that means things like oils and liquids can actually soak into the wheels. We just want to make sure none of that is going to be outgassing through the powder when we start to powder coat. Once the wheels reach the correct temperature, outgassing usually takes around about 30 minutes. Once at temp, the wheels are then taken out of the oven, ready for the powder coat stage. To make sure we cover all of the corroded areas on the face, we're going to hit it with a high build primer. That's going to make the wheel nice and smooth before we apply the final coat, which is gloss black. Wheels are baked off for approximately 10 minutes between coats. Here you can see Aaron is applying the gloss black powder coat. Once these are powder coated, they're returned back to the oven again, where they'll have their final bake off for around about 30 minutes. And here is the final result. We're really happy with how these have come out. They look so glossy. We can't wait to see these outside in the sun. Next step, of course, is getting the tyres back onto the wheels. Another important stage, getting the tyres back onto the wheels. We need to make sure we're so careful not to damage these freshly powder coated spokes. Firstly, we just installed the TPMS sensor removed right at the beginning. We're going to put brand new black valve stems on each one of them as well to match the wheels. Once inflated, the wheels are loaded onto the tyre balancer, where we'll balance the tyre against the wheel. Weights are applied to the inside of each of the wheels, just to counterbalance the tyre against the wheel. We then just finish off with the finishing touches, tyre shine, centre caps, and fresh new end badges for each wheel. And here they are. These look amazing. Cannot wait to see these outside in the sun. It's really going to change the appearance of the car. Aaron's done a fantastic job to make sure you can't see any of that corrosion that was visible when we first saw the wheels. Next step, of course, is putting the wheels back onto the car. With the black side skirts and the black spoiler, personally think this is the best colour combination for a white car. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think of the colour change. If you've liked this video, please press the like button below. Consider subscribing to our channel. We aim to release a new video once a week. if you'd like to get your wheels refurbished, we're based in the Midlands. All of our details are in the description down below. We hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.